Namaste everyone and welcome to this class. Today in this class we'll be focusing on releasing tension from the hips. So if you have been experiencing any type of tightness in the hips, this will be a great flow for you. This is a slow and gentle class, but at the same time we'll be going really deep into the stretches. I will be offering you different modifications, so if there is a level which suits you the most, you can stay there. You might need one block for this class, so make sure you have a grab or a pillow with you during the session. Whenever you're ready, let's roll up the mat, get on the mat, and let's get started. So let's start today in Dandasana position. So try to extend your legs forward on the mat, finding your balance, yourself seated on your sitting bones, keeping your legs straight, arms by the hips. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can move your arms slightly back. If this is uncomfortable for your hamstring, you can bend your knees slightly, maybe support your knees with the blocks like this. So take first few moments to arrive, feeling the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to release any tension, release any tightness. Fully ground into this moment. Now slowly connect with the breath. Use your breath as your guide into this practice as we move from different parts of the body in different stretches. Try to stay connected with the breath and breathe into that part so that you can release more tension and create more space. You can close your eyes, maybe experience the breath for first few moments to connect. And now slowly you can open the eyes and come back. Now let's begin. Begin by bending both knees. Open your both feet hip distance apart or mat distance apart, going a little more wider. Both knees pointing up, and then very gently move the knees to the right and to the left. So gently move the knees side to side. If it's available for you, you can also lower your forearms down and then just move the knees side to side. So again, find what feels good, staying up on the hands or on the forearms. So just gently finding the space in the hips, warming up the hips slowly. And slowly come back up to center. Maybe come back up on the palms if you are on the forearms. And now from here, you will move your both knees to the right side for deer pose, shifting your weight more on the right hip. Flex your both feet so you're reducing any tension from the knee, and maybe place your both hands in front of your right shin or your right knee. Feeling the stretch in your right outer hip. Inhale in here, maybe just stay, or if you have space, so you're trying to bend over your right leg. Finding a deeper stretch in your right outer hip. If it's available, you can go a little more lower. If not, stay wherever you are. Again, no need to force. Stay with the breath. And with next inhale, you slowly come back up. Walk the hands back and let's move on the other side. So palms back. You will move both knees to the left side this time. Sit more on the left hip. Both hands in front of your left knee or left shin. You can stay wherever you are. Now inhale in the center. Maybe stay here or bend forward, bending over your left leg this time. So breathing into the outer hip, Maybe your forearms can go down, or you can walk your hands a little forward to breathe into the stretch. Holding wherever you are. And slowly come back up. And slowly bend your knees, bring them together. And from here, we'll lower down in a tabletop. So palms under the shoulders, knees in line with the hips. Keep the knees hip distance apart. From here, we'll do some knee circles. So opening the hip, lift your right leg up, open to the side and slowly lower down. So very gently, just roll the hips just to warm up the wrist, warm up the hips. One more circle and let's reverse the direction. Stay with the breath. And one more and release. Now on the other side, lift your left leg up and start rotating your left knee. Releasing the hip. Breathing into the stretch. Feel the hip. One more. And now let's reverse other side. And slowly come back down and sit on the heels. Just take few moments to feel both hips. So make this practice a little more meditative by focusing on the joints. So if you've just worked on one joint, how you're feeling at this moment. If you feel the activation, if you're feeling the tightness, whatever your experience is, just try to connect with that before we move forward. Because when we are constantly moving, we sometimes do not focus on the specific joints that we are working on. But when we take some breaks and go inwards, then it helps us connect deeply with the body. It helps us understand our body. Beautiful. And now slowly let's come back. From here, again we come back in a tabletop. From here, you will step your right leg forward for lunge position. So we are not going deep into the lunge. You can just stay here with your knee in line with the ankle and your left knee back, or maybe place something under the left knee if you need any support. Now inhale in here, and as you exhale, you will lower the hips down. So try to sink more deep into the lunge and stay here. Just check in with the hips because now you're experiencing your hip flexors getting stretched. Feel the stretch. And now if you want to go a little deeper into the stretch, maybe you can bend your left leg and try to pull your heel into your hip to deepen the stretch. If it's available, maybe you go back with the right hand, grab your ankle, hold it here as you inhale, or maybe pull the heel more in for a deep stretch. So again, no need to force, just breathing into the stretch, holding wherever you are. If this is too much for your left hand, you can also use a block here to stay up, lift it up. And then slowly we will release the left, come back up, and then slowly we step back for tabletop. Again, sit down on the hips, on the heels, and come back. Close your eyes. Just breathe and observe for a moment how you are feeling. What is the difference between your right and the left side? Because we just did one side, so take some time to compare this side with the other side. Notice what is the difference. Now let's move on the other side. So coming back to tabletop, bring your left foot forward for lunge again. You can move slightly back with the left knee or just bend the knee and lower the hips down. Stay here, breathing into the stretch. Feel the stretch in your hip flexors. Try to breathe into the part where you are experiencing the tightness at this moment. And now let's add a squat stretch. If you did it on the previous side, you will bend your right leg. Try to catch your ankle. Maybe just hold it here, or with exhale try to pull the heel more in to deepen the stretch. Stay wherever you are, no need to force. Just breathing into the stretch, hold where it feels good. And slowly release. Slowly stepping back to tabletop. This time stay in tabletop and just gently move the hips side to side. Now again coming back and compare both hips. If there is any difference, similarities, whatever it is, what is your personal experience at this moment? And slowly come back to center. Let's move in pigeon pose from here. So now you are again stepping your right forward. So now I'm bringing the right knee forward, extending the left leg back. So you can walk back slightly. So first option is you can bring your knee closer, your right heel closer to you, to your groins. Or if it's available, if you want to go a little deeper, then you will move your right heel away and try to bring the shin parallel with the short edge of the mat. So this can be a little challenging. So if you just want to reduce some stretch, you can bring the heel closer. Make sure you're not leaning on one side. So if it's happening, maybe you'll need a block and place a block under your right hip. So your hips are balanced. So choose your variation, hold wherever you are, inhale in here, and with exhale will bend forward. So maybe you will lower your forearms down, or maybe you can take a block, you can rest your forehead on the block, and let's hold in pigeon for a few breaths. Close your eyes. Again, observe how it feels. Allow the gravity to pull you down. If you're still creating any resistance in your body, try to let go completely. Just breathe. Natural flow. No control. Only release. And now with next inhale, slowly lift the head up, come back up, remove the block. If you were sitting on the block, time to remove it. And then you will take your time to slowly release your right back to tabletop. Just for a moment, stay here. This time we'll make a circle with the hips. So both hips forward to the right, back and left, small circles. Feel the release. Stay with the experience. Notice if you find any difference. Now 3 circles in the opposite direction. And now slowly come back to center. Moving on the other side. So bring your left knee forward. Moving in pigeon pose. Extend your right leg back. Knee down. Again you can choose to bring your heel more up or more back. Then square your hips. If you need to sit on the left, on the hip, then make sure your hips are leveled. So if you need to use a block under your left hip, go for it. Once you are there, inhale, open the chest, and exhale, you will lower your forearms down, or again use the block. Rest your head down, maybe extend the hands forward. So wherever you are, you need to just find your maximum. You need to find the level which makes you feel comfortable and good today. Asana is comfort and steadiness. As Patanjali says, your posture should be steady and comfortable. So once you have found your level, find stillness, comfort. Stay here for a few breaths, maybe comparing this side to the previous side. And now slowly, let's come back up. Remove the block and take your time to slowly release backing back in tabletop. And from here, we'll find ourselves sitting on the ground. So you'll find in a seated position, find your sit bones grounded, and let's go for a wide leg position. So open the legs as wide as you can, keeping your both hands inside. Now from here, as you inhale, you will open the chest, and then keeping your spine straight, see if you can bend forward. Go as far as you can. Again, you have option, you can stay here. Maybe you walk your hands a little more forward. Maybe you lower your forearms down, or you can again use block to support. You can use any height, and just relax your head, release your entire body. You can be anywhere. What's more important is that you are comfortable. You're finding stillness. You're connected with the breath, with your body, and experiencing the stretch. If you want to go a little deeper, then maybe you can extend the hands forward and you can lower yourself all the way down. But that's not necessary today. Today is all about embracing the journey, embracing each step. So each posture is a journey. We'll get there step by step. So I want you to focus on each step. And now slowly let's come back up. So stay in this wide-legged position. We'll just add a side stretch. So you keep your right hand either outside your right leg or on your right leg. Lift your left hand up as you inhale, and exhale you lean over to the right side and breathing into the left side of the body. Maybe you can lower your forearm down. Just breathe into the stretch, keeping the hips grounded. And slowly come back up. Let's switch the side. Left hand on the left, right hand up as you inhale and exhale, side stretch. Breathing on the right. And now inhale, slowly come back up. From here again, hands back. Take your time to slowly bend your knees and bring your knees closer. So we stay up in this position. We'll try to practice Kurmasana if you can. This is again a deep hip opener. So you keep your both hands inside here, and then you will try to lean forward. So if it's not happening right now, you can just stay here. Actively try to rotate your hips, and so your hands are staying in and you're actively working on those. If you can, then maybe you are lowering your hands down, or try extending your hands through your legs. So you're trying to place the back of your right knee close to your upper arm. So make sure it's not close to the elbow. We don't want any extra pressure on the elbow joint. So if it's close to your upper arm, then go for it. If not, just stay here. Okay, find your level where you are. Back is rounded. Inhale, you will open the chest. Come up on the heel. Inhale, stay here. Now to go a little deeper, if it's available, you will try extending the legs and then try to lower your chest down. I want you to stay wherever you are, so you're not forcing yourself. Knee close to upper arm. Rest your head down. Or stay wherever you are. Few deep breaths. Stay in Kurmasana. And now slowly, when you want to come up, start bending your knees. So bring your heels slightly back. Try to lift your head, chest up, releasing one hand at a time, and slowly come back up. I know this was challenging, so take your time to slowly come back. Maybe extend your legs forward. If you need to, just slowly shake, shake, shake. Beautiful. Now the next posture we are doing is butterfly. So bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet together, grab your toes and start bouncing your knees. Just allow the gravity to do the work. You can keep your heels closer to you or slightly away. Both are okay. It's more about finding the opening in the hips. So finding your maximum stretch. Now release the knees and hold wherever you are. If this is too much, you can use 1 or 2 blocks and support them under your knee like this and just hold. Or if you want to go one step deeper, then we'll add a spinal flexion, forward fold. So inhale in center, and as you exhale, bend forward. Again, go as far as your body allows you. Maybe lower the forearms. Maybe use the block again. Rest your head down and breathe. So in each posture, You're trying to go a little more deeper into the hips. You'll be doing a lot of external hip rotations, so we are going to even it out with some internal hip rotation as well, so that we can work on the hips, the full range of hips. And now with next inhale, slowly come back up. If you need to stay longer in any posture, feel free to pause the video and continue whenever you want. So come back up, take a moment to feel both sides, feel the release in both sides. And take your time to bring your knees together. And now from here we'll do one more last push by doing frog pose. So for frog pose, you're going to come up on the knees again. And now you're going to go wider with the knees. So you can keep your hands down on the mat and just slide your knees out to find maximum space in the hips, making sure your knee stays in line with the heels. If you feel this is too much for you, you can also skip this pose. So open the knees wider, trying to lower the hips more down into the pose. Option to stay here, or you can again go down on the forearms. This is very deep. This is an intense stretch. Hold wherever it feels good. Again, you are allowing the gravity to pull you down. If you have more space, you can go a little more away from the knees. Maybe move the hips slightly forward and back, but only do it if it feels good. So I remember saying this, that it's a slow class, but it's still an intense class because we are going really deep into the stretches. But it's completely up to you. You can be wherever you want to. You can always modify, but by reducing the tension. You can always modify the posture by coming up one level and hold wherever you are. And try not to go too deep. So again, embracing each step of this journey. And now slowly, let's come back up. And now to come out, you can slowly slide your knees back in very slowly. It might take a while and it's completely okay. Very nice. So we come back up in a tabletop, and from here, sit down on the hips. We'll windshield wiper the legs, so hands back and just move the knees side to side. Again, just to release any tension. And slowly come back to center. Let's do an internal hip rotation by practicing Virasana. So come up on the knees. Virasana is where you're moving the heels out and you are lowering the hips down. So I'm turning the calf muscle out and trying to sit between the heels. So the right heel is next to the right hip, and left is next to the left hip. So if this is uncomfortable, use a block. So now I'm sitting on the block, which gives me a little more height. So I'm just trying to close the hip this time. So internally rotate the thighs, place both hands on the top of the thighs, and maybe just stay here. Come back to the breath. Again, connecting with the stretch. Observe how it feels. Now, again, if you want to take one more step and go to the next step, you can also add a heart opening here. So, for this version, we will place the hands back. So, you can lean slightly back on the hands, open the chest. And now, if you can, maybe you will lower the forearms down. So, try only if that feels good. Chest is lifted up. And now those who can go, they can go to the final step. So if your hips are grounded and if you can lower your forearms down, then you can also try going all the way back. Again, if that feels good, you don't need to do everything today. You can be wherever you are and just embrace. This gives you a really nice stretch in your quads, in your entire front side as well, and giving you a really nice internal hip rotation. So you can keep your hands on your hips, or you can keep your hand on your chest and belly, or you can keep your hands up over the head to completely relax and release. Because we did some forward bends as well. So this gives you a really nice opening of the front side, allowing yourself to just release. And we are almost at the end of the class. Slowing down the breath, but still finding a little more space with each pose. With each breath, we are trying to find that small spaces in the body which you may not have felt before, or where you experience a little tightness or stress or any knot which needs to be released. So, this is our time to release that. Now, to come out, we'll slowly release the hands if they are over the head, and bring your upper arm next to you, and then you press into your upper arm one side and then the other side. You will come up on your forearm, so very slowly come up and then release one leg at a time. So try shifting on one side, so you can release one foot, then release the other, and slowly come back. Again, if you need to move, just windshield wiper the legs slowly and gently side to side. And from here, we will go straight on the back. So you lay down, laying on the back. And now from here, bring both knees in, but you'll place your right hand on the top of the right, left on the left. And then bring your both knees in together, open to the side, and start rotating your both hips in opposite direction. So you're making circles with the knees, but both moving in opposite direction. And now let's reverse into out. And come back to center. This time you'll hold both knees in together. Just stay here, compressing the knees in. Maybe you bring the head in or keep it back. Doesn't matter. Hold. And slowly release the knees and bring both knees to the right side of the mat. Extend the left hand to the left side and twist. Breathing into the stretch. Releasing your body. Slowly releasing any tightness. And now let's come back up, center, and switch. Knees to the left, extend the right hand to the right, and breathe. And slowly come back to center. Both feet down and prepare yourself for Shavasana. So extend your legs forward, arms by the sides, close your eyes. If there is any other movement that you feel like doing, you can go for it. And then release the entire body in Shavasana, finding stillness in this moment, surrendering to the ground. Just breathe and melt on the ground. Thank you very much for joining me in this class. I hope you are feeling the release in the hips, and I hope you have also experienced the deep stretches. I know this was a little challenging class. It was definitely a slow but a deep stretching class. So at some point it was challenging for me too. If you have experienced resistance in some of the posture, that's completely okay. Sometimes the sides are also very different, so your right side can be different than your left side, and that's completely okay. It's more about being consistent in your practice. So the more you do it, the more it gets better. So keep practicing more and more to release the hips more. Thank you for sharing your wonderful energy today. I send you lots of love, lots of peace, and lots of release in the hips. I will see you in another class. Until then, take care. Namaste.